Hey, welcome back. We are back downtown. The reason I say in the title of this video that this is something you really need to watch is that most of the videos that you see on YouTube of Tesla's full self-driving are done in less challenging conditions. And I can be guilty of this too. A lot of us live up in the suburbs where there may be some challenging conditions, but generally nothing compared to what you see in a real busy urban environment. If Tesla really wants to go all autonomous and cybercab on us, it has to be able to handle the conditions you see in this video. I'm more interested in testing these conditions to see real world improvements to full self-driving. Let's have a look. It's dusk here in downtown Toronto, so lots of traffic on the road, lots of cyclists, a load of pedestrians, and as you can see, lots of cars. We're going to have to make a left turn here. As you can see, we've got some pedestrians ready to cross the road. We've got oncoming traffic, so FSD is waiting to find its move there. And there we go. There's a break, and FSD does a nice, comfortable left turn there, so it does a really good job with that. Up ahead, we're going to be doing a right turn. It's not going to be at this light. It's going to be at the next light here. Now you notice that FSD is starting to signal right here. I would say that's too early, and I think it would be a little bit misleading to the vehicles behind us. It's not this light that we're going to be turning right. It's going to be the next light right after that. So it's jumping the gun there a little bit on the signaling. So we'll just move ahead here and take a look. As we speed up the camera again, you can get a sense of all the cyclists that are weaving in and out, as well as the pedestrians. And again, this is something I'm usually pretty cautious about with FSD, because these cyclists can move in very fast, and these are low light conditions. As you can see, it's still signaling to go right, but we're not turning right here, and it's got to get through this intersection, and it does so. Now take a look ahead. You see this person here? He's leaning forward. FSD doesn't know if this guy's going to fall onto the street. He's going to move forward. As you can see, he's angled like he's going to cross the street, but he's not really moving forward. So FSD did a really good job in evaluating maybe what his intention was going to be and went forward with that. But again, these are the types of conditions you've got to be very comfortable and safe around. So I think FSD did a good job with that. Now we're going to speed up the camera here again because we're going to be turning right. Again, lots of pedestrians coming from both ends. FSD is going to wait for this one to pass. Then a nice smooth right turn there. Now, it's going to have to get into a left lane sooner than later. It's not going to be this street, but the next street's going to turn left. But the tricky thing with that downtown is there's lots of people who just stop their cars in the left lane there, so it can block you off. And you can see right here up ahead, there's a car that's got its lights flashing, I think, and it's just blocking the left lane traffic. So FSD is going to have to stay in this middle lane there. Okay, we're going to have to go, and as you can see, there's going to be a truck here that's coming up on my left side. He notices there's that car blocking the lane, so he's going to squeeze in here. FSD does a good job of comfortably letting him in, nice and smooth. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to get past this light, and at the next light we're going to have to turn left. Now I can see it through the edge here, but there's another car that's blocking the left here, and if FSD tries to get into the left lane because it can't see beyond this truck, I might have to disengage because there's so much traffic there. Yeah, as you can see, FSD is trying to get into the left lane. I wish the camera could see up ahead that there was a car that's parked there. And I'm going to disengage because if it went there, I was going to have to swing into the right lane, and I was going to be blocking a lot of traffic there. So I'll re-engage it again. I can clearly see that there's a vehicle there now. Now it comfortably gets into the left lane. Tons of pedestrians here. You're going to look on the sidewalk just to see how many pedestrians you have here. You can see people are not really crossing the road properly. No issues there with FSD. Nice smooth left turn, so it does a really good job with that. Again, this is a very busy environment right now. So you can see there's people who are just crossing the road wherever they want. They don't care for traffic lights here. They don't care for crosswalks. They'll just cross wherever they want. Now up ahead, there's some construction. So FSD is going to have to get into the right lane. So let's see how proactive it is about doing that. I can see it, and I know it from my previous drive that it's up there. Driving nice and smooth, and there you go. You can see FSD does a very good job, sees the pylons up ahead and gets into the right lane. Fantastic job with that. Comfortably goes through the intersection. Again, take a look at all the pedestrians there. The road narrows here quite a bit. FSD does a good job with that. Again, you might think, well, this is This might not be a tricky situation because we're just driving straight, but when the roads are narrow like this and you've got pedestrians weaving in and out and jumping onto the road at any time, these are the very challenging conditions that I like to test FSD, especially when it's dark. This is when the cameras can really come in handy because they can see things sometimes that takes you a little bit longer to notice. Okay, nice and smooth there. It goes through the intersection, very authoritative with that. Good acceleration, not too fast. Doing a good job with the auto speed offset. Again, not worrying about speeding here because, again, these are slower, more challenging conditions, and FSD does a good job of not driving too fast usually during these conditions. Our next turn will be just a bit up ahead. We'll be turning right here. Nice and smooth here. I'll just speed up the camera here because nothing too exciting is happening. What I'll do is I'll slow it down right now. And again, you can see there's actually somebody who's standing in the middle of the road. I don't know, he's protesting and yelling at some people. So FSD, if they goes right around this guy, you see that guy standing there? So FSD's got to be comfortable going around him. He steps back a little bit. So, in earlier versions of FSD, sometimes things like that would confuse it and it would just brake there and be very cautious and not move. But now it comfortably goes around him. So good. So this finishes up the first leg of this drive. FSD did a very good job with the conditions there. Let's test out the next leg. So now we're going to be going back in the opposite direction, just a little bit later in the evening. Again, still very busy out there. Nice comfortable left turn there onto the busy street. Lots of traffic here. Now if you look on my map there, you can see that in a few streets FSD is going to have me turning right, which is a little bit earlier than the previous drive I did on this route. So we'll see why it's doing that and how comfortable it does that. Let's see when it tries to get me into the right lane here. Sometimes I don't want it when it's downtown traffic to move me into the right lane too early, just because there's so many pedestrians and traffic on the right, and you can see there's that e-cyclist there. I like to avoid all of that. As you can see, it's starting to signal right now and trying to get me into the right lane, which, I can understand in a way because it's trying to not wait till the last minute. It's going to have to squeeze into this traffic here on the right. So let's see how it does that. Again, there's lots of cars. Look on my screen there. You can see lots of cars in the right lane. So let's see when it tries to make that move again. There you go. You can see the wheels, a little bit hesitant, waiting for its spot. And someone lets us in, and FSD comfortably moves us in. As you can see, I'm just raising my hand to thank the guy there. Good job with that. Now again, we're into this right lane traffic, which sometimes can be a little bit slower because you can see the vehicles there are turning right, and we've got a lot more pedestrians as well. FSD confidently goes through the intersection. Doing a great job overall on this downtown drive. I feel very comfortable with it. Okay, as you can see, we got lots of cyclists here on the right and pedestrians. These are really tricky conditions because it's very hard to tell what the intent sometimes of these pedestrians are. FSD has to manage that. And it goes right through the intersection. Very nice and clean. And again, it's got to slow down because, again, we have a cyclist in front of us. We've got cars weaving in and out. It's got to keep the distance with the cyclist there. It's got to get through this intersection, and then it's going to be turning right at the next one. Oh, you can see because there were vehicles in front of us, I couldn't see that there were these cones there. So FSD does a really good job of going into this construction area here, nicely weaving through the narrow traffic. Always feel very confident. FSD does an excellent job with narrow road conditions. There you go. Weaves in and out there. Fantastic job. Honestly, I think it does a better job than I do in these conditions. All right, we're going through the intersection now. FSD is going to have to get into the right lane, but hopefully after this vehicle there, and just like that, it puts me into the right lane, and it shouldn't have done that because you can see there's this vehicle that stopped there, and FSD is going to, I'm not going to intervene. I'm going to wait to see how long it takes. As you can see, there's a car there that's behind me, and it goes around. Now, I'm waiting for FSD to move there, and oh, look at that! You see that? You see that's that guy there on the scooter? I didn't see him from behind there, but FSD and the cameras did a great job with that. It waited patiently for him to pass, and then it went around that car. So that is definitely a benefit of having all those cameras in FSD, especially when it comes at nighttime. I didn't notice at first that scooter at all, but FSD picked up on it and made a safe move there. Excellent job. And now we're turning our right turn here, waiting for the pedestrians to pass. Nice and smooth. And we have to get it immediately into the left turn lane there. You can see these lanes are a little trickier. We've got a left turn lane there, and we've got a bike lane on the left as well. So FSD is going to have to turn left here. We've got an advanced green here, which is good. So it's got to look at these pedestrians and the cyclists, and it does a nice comfortable turn there. Great job. Would be interested in hearing your thoughts on this drive. This is a really smooth drive in very tricky conditions here. And FSD is handling it very well, much better than previous versions. Definitely much better than pre-version 12 of FSD. You can see here we've got narrow lanes with construction there. It's very tight. FSD has no issue squeezing in. I mean, if it's just inches that it needs, it's very good with that. I feel very confident in those situations with FSD. I know people would normally feel pretty nervous having a car drive through these scenarios or these conditions, but it does a really good job with it. It has a very good sense of its space. Comfortably going forward. Again, very narrow here as well. You can see we got buses over here. It's very tight, but not an issue. All right, so we're going to finish off the second leg of this drive here. Again, I would give FSD 2 thumbs up. All right, good cautious acceleration through that intersection as well. We've got pylons in the middle. Keeping good distance between myself and the vehicle in front. Now we're going to be getting up to just the end of this drive here. And again, we're just going to be a little bit of a tricky scenario coming up. We're going to have to cross right through this intersection. Again, this intersection here is a lot of pedestrians who just ignore the traffic lights. Lots of people jaywalking through here. So let's see what happens. All right. You see the light goes, and you see there's some jaywalkers right there. Gotta watch for them. Gotta go through there. Lots of pedestrians coming through. You can see they're just crossing. They don't care. I've got to get through here. I've got a lot of parked cars in front of me. Looks like a taxi blocking some people there. So that's good. All right, so I'm finished up on the second leg of the drive here. I'll just disengage just so I can let this guy get through, but FSD was going to have no issue with that. So overall, amazing. Fantastic performance there on the second leg of this drive. And what we're going to do to finish up this drive here is we are going to go to that left turn that I did on the last drive that FSD had issues with within a pedestrian crossing. This left turn is going to take me out of downtown onto the highway. We usually have a lot of oncoming vehicles here, and they come at a very high speed. Sometimes they're turning right themselves to get onto the highway. Sometimes they're just blowing right through. As you can see, I'm going to have to signal here and turn left. Again, you can see the oncoming traffic there. Sometimes they're not signaling, so FSD has to make the determination. Are they turning right? Or are they coming straight ahead? You can see these bright lights. See, this guy's coming really fast at me. Next guy's coming pretty fast, but there's a break. And FSD does look great acceleration there. Good confident left turn. So it passed that left turn with flying colors. So what are your thoughts on this drive? I think overall, considering the conditions, FSD did an amazing job. It did a really good job with managing cyclists, the pedestrians, lots of traffic, narrow roads, construction, left turns, right turns. Overall, I was very confident with that drive. Please leave a comment below. Let me know how you thought it went from your end. Thanks for watching. You all drive safe, and I'll see you on the roads.